So the brand new Forza Horizon 2 May DLC pack was just released, and I'm going to do a review on it, so let's go. Let's start off with the classic Corvette C1. So for those who don't know, this is actually the first Corvette ever created from 1953, I believe, and I underrated it by a lot. If you were watching my live stream yesterday on Twitch, I didn't even go and drive this thing. I thought it would be extremely boring and nothing really special about it. That was until I went and got the footage for today. The body kit choices are unbelievable. They're so freaking cool, and the engine choices, you're given a lot of really cool engines. The other really interesting thing that I noted while driving this car is that it only has 2 gears, which is kind of good for me since I can't really shift, but I found that kind of interesting. So a very underrated car here, the Corvette C1. Really fun to drive around. I'm sure you could turn this thing into as many different cars as you want. I think I swapped in the Hemi engine on this car. I can't remember exactly, but I just found it extremely fun just to drive around. There's probably infinite number of possibilities you can do, and it's a good looking car. It's a really good looking car. Anyways, let's go from the oldest Corvette ever to the newest Corvette, which is the C7006, and is actually just that, the newest Corvette in production right now. When I first saw this thing on the car list for the cars that were going to be in this pack, I was super pumped. The C7006 is just an amazing car. It looks insane, drives insane, sounds. It's a really amazing car. But then I drove it in the game, and I realized it's exactly like the C7 that we already have. I tried to do a max power build on it. We couldn't even get it up to 1,000 horsepower, which was kind of disappointing. And if you ask me, there's just really no point in having it in the game when we already have the stock C7. I don't know the differences between the C7 and the C7006 in real life, what Chevy did in terms of upgrading and things like that. I know there's a little more power, probably some suspension stuff, things like that. But if you ask me, they just feel very similar. And in this game, at least, it could have been filled by a car that people actually wanted, and it would have been different for the game, if you ask me. At the end of the day, the Z06 is just way too similar to the C7 we already have, and I don't think we really need it in the game. Anyways, let's move it on to the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. I've never heard of this car before, but I saw it in the game, and it looks pretty interesting. Twitch chat yesterday in my stream asked me to build a wheelie car on it, which I did, and was actually pretty successful. I may have a build for that tomorrow or Friday. We'll have to see what happens with that. And it's actually a fairly cool car. Like I said, I don't really know anything about it. I've never even heard of it, so I went on Forza's website and saw what they had to say about it. It's basically the first SUV ever made before an SUV was sort of a thing. And it was also made by 3 different manufacturers. It's a pretty cool car, drives pretty well, but again, I don't think this was really requested by anyone, and I don't really think it's needed. There's already a bunch of SUVs that we have like this, that if you ask me, that are superior to this car, so I really don't think we need it. I don't know anyone who even requested it, and to be quite honest, again, don't really know why it's in the game. Anyways, let's move it on to my favorite car in the entire pack, the Bugatti EB110. You may have seen my build for this yesterday. It is now the fastest car in Forza Horizon 2, and it's actually the free car in this pack, so you can go and get this regardless of whether you want to buy the pack or not. You can go and get this right now for free. Such a cool car. It's a complete classic, freaking amazing. You can actually swap the Veyron engine in to the car, which is what I actually did yesterday to build the fastest car. The Veyron engine costs 400,000 credits, which is absolutely insane. It's a really fun car to drive around, amazing looking. It's just really fun. I really like it. Best car in the pack, hands down. It was the king of the original Forza Horizon, fastest car in there. It was the king of Forza Horizon 2 on the Xbox 360, and is now again the king of Forza Horizon 2 top speed on the Xbox One, and it's just, I loved it. I love it. Really cool car. So anyways, the next car, the AMC Rebel. Basically, one word opinion, meh. It's okay. Nothing really special about it. Twitch chat asked me to try and make this car into a drag car, but I just found it was too heavy and it wasn't very great. I tried driving it around stock right here for you guys, and it's actually a really solid drifter. You can see how soft the suspension is. I don't know if that made it a little bit easier, but I just found it actually quite fun to drive in this game. The 70s muscle car category for Forza Horizon was already pretty damn good. This just makes it a little bit better if you ask me. It's okay. I don't think it was really requested very much, but it's okay. Let's move it along to the brand new Audi TT. It's a cool car. It's just that. It's just a cool car. Same with the AMC Rebel. It's okay. This is just a cool car. We tried to do a rally build on it. It went okay. Nothing really too special about it. I'm sure, though, if you did want to make this car a little bit more interesting than it is, I would suggest rear-wheel drive swapping it. You can do some crazy engine swaps. Sadly, you can't put any body kits on it, which is kind of disappointing for me. But I assume if you did do the engine swap and the rear-wheel drive swap, you can make this thing into something very fun. Stock, for me at least, it's a little bit boring. At the end of the day, it's still a cool car. It's nice to have these brand new 2015 cars in the game, especially when they look like this, if you ask me. Looks pretty damn good. But it's just a cool car. A little bit boring to drive stock, though. Anyways, that's that. That is the entire Forza Horizon 2 May DLC pack. And if you ask me, it's a little disappointing. If I was to skip out on a pack, this would be the one to skip out on. The C1 and the Bugatti are freaking amazing cars. I'm going to be driving around in these cars a lot, I think. The Bugatti especially, that thing is just amazing. The C7 is a solid car. It's an amazing car in real life, but it's a little unnecessary considering we have the stock C7 in the game already. And the Jeep, the AMC, and the Audi, they're all really nice cars, but if you ask me, you'll drive them once and then you'll pretty much just forget about them. I would have loved Forza to actually put some cars into the game that people have actually been requesting for a long time. BAC Mono, Rolls Royce, Koenigsegg 1-to-1. Things like this people have been requesting since day one and are still not in the game. The Nissan S14 goes in that list too. There's a bunch of awesome cars and they're still not in the game for whatever reason. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this pack in the comments down below. Are you going to get it or are you going to skip out on it? I'd say skip out on it if you're not a fan of any of these cars in particular. But anyways, guys, that is that. Hopefully you enjoyed and I will see you in the next one. At full speed. Twitch chat believes you can do more in 273. Let's see if Twitch chat's a bunch of liars. I think they are. I'm out of gears. It really does run out of gears.